So go ahead, I'm starting the recording. And we can go ahead and get started.
Great, let's do it.
So as was mentioned, introduce yourself in the chat as we get going. You're welcome to share your video as your bandwidth allows. Sometimes that does kind of bog down the system though. We'll be monitoring the chat. Meeting is being recorded. It will be available for watching either later today or tomorrow. Hannah has already put information in the chat of where to find that after the event. And then we'll share slides and any chat notes after the event on our Naturals News page. So, and if anyone would like to be a note taker, if you wanted to have notes and you would want to be the note taker, you can go ahead and take on that responsibility and send them to us afterwards. Just a quick overview of our agenda today, and then we're gonna jump right into it. Reminder of our chapter presidents meetings. We hold these each month on the last Tuesday of the month, generally. Today is April 28th. You're attending the April presidents and a chapter advisors meeting. And then here shown is the schedule for the rest of this year. A few of these will be regularly scheduled chapter presidents meetings, and then some of them are hybrid meetings that are joint with our TMN Tuesday. So the October, November, and December meetings, you will need to self-register for those. Okay. Since the beginning year, we've been kind of tracking our adoption of the triennial review and send out of the chapter, the governing documents, the program governing documents. And remember, these are on a 3-year review process. We've just started the first year of that review process where the new documents were provided at the end of last year, 2025, and to be adopted within 2026, early 2026. Go on. And as a reminder, we're in that 3-year review process where comments are being collected for the next iteration of the documents. So that would be in summer 2028. And during over these 3 years, we are collecting information to be considered for the next iteration and update of these documents. So use the form that we have here. You can hover over the QR code. And Hannah has placed it in the chat as well, the link for providing documents feedback. Next. As a reminder, chapters were asked to begin adopting the documents with a due date by early April. April 1st was our target date for everything for adoption of the bylaws. The bylaws were the only thing that needed to be adopted at your local level by the April 1st deadline. And excuse me, the chapter operating handbook would be the next thing that chapters would need to move through the adoption process. And we just ask that adoption process take place as update and adoption process takes place as soon as possible. And we've been presenting all of this for the past 4 or 5 months now. So we'll move on to the tracking of that in chapters that we are still looking forward to hearing from. So bylaws requests. We have not yet heard from Heart of Texas, Red River, and Rolling Plains. So we'd love to visit with those chapters after the meeting, in subsequent days after the meeting, to see how we can help your chapter get the bylaws adopted at your local level and start that process.
And so, and I want to add in here too, Michelle, that this is a representation of what has been submitted or not submitted on our website. So if you have at the local level worked through the documents and the adoption process but have not yet completed the forms on our website, then we don't know that you've done that. And so this is representing what we know based off of the entries on those forms that are part of this process here that she's talking about.
Yep. So we'd love to hear from the chapters that we have not yet heard from. Those are the chapters on the left-hand side of the screen, and then the chapters on the right-hand side of the screen. These chapters are in some form of having made the bylaws option selections, but we haven't heard if your adoption has actually taken place yet. So I know some of you were in process and may still be in process yet this month. There's a couple of days left in this month. But if you are a chapter we haven't heard from, we'd love to visit with you again in the coming days on how we can help your chapter get across this hurdle, or just let us know if you have a voting date coming up soon. And then go ahead and complete that progress report form once you do. And then moving into the chapter operating handbook and that adoption process, we've had a great number of chapters, number of chapters that have updated their COH and adopted that so far. And this list that you see is the chapters we have not heard from yet. So just a reminder to the chapters that we haven't heard from yet, looking forward to helping you complete this process however you need help. So let us know what stage you're in or planning to be done. Okay. Mary Pro, would you like to cover Conservation
I
Wrangler?
can share the update here. So we've been keeping y'all updated on our Conservation Wrangler project that we've been working through with the Texan by Nature team. As a reminder, this is a project to develop a strategic planning guide or a strategic planning document for the Texas Master Naturalist Program. As some of our past updates mentioned, we sent out those several series of surveys in the fall and have been working through the data analysis on that. We had an opportunity to have an in-person meeting a few weeks ago with the Texan by Nature team to really continue that strategic planning process and ask the hard questions as we were moving through that and answer the hard questions as well. And so again, just sharing those updates as we move through this process and hoping that we will have a completed strategic plan in September of 2026 and looking forward to sharing that with y'all.
Okay. Just another reminder on recertification and milestone ordering pins. We still don't have an ETA on PVSA program pins and ordering. That's on pause. However, I'm still collecting in a list anyone that crosses the 4,000 hour threshold when the Master Naturalist version of that pin is requested. So when and if the program is put back into place, everything will be ordered for the volunteers who may not have received a Presidential Volunteer Service Award yet. Okay, moving on.
Speaking of pins, so our recertification and milestone pins that are less than 4,000 hours are at our AgriLife Learn warehouse, along with our polos, hats, patches, lanyards, and so on. Just again, sharing an update here. The warehouse was in transition over the last several months as they were moving from one location to another. And they are fully operational within that location now, as I've heard it earlier this week. And so there should be no delays and no changes in any of the operating and any of the shipping that comes out of the AgriLife Learn warehouse for those lower level recertification pins and hats, t-shirts, and so on. And so that's the screenshot from that.
All right, this is just the monthly reminder for our TMN Tuesdays. the second of each month unless otherwise noted. And you can go ahead and go to that next slide because we just announced on socials and a listserv and everything our May TMN Tuesday. We've kind of been hinting at this one a little bit because for any chapters who are interested in applying for the Pollinators for Texas initiative, this is a very relevant topic for you. So we wanted to give you a bit of a heads up. And also note that there is a time difference for this one. It is at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 instead of that typical 12 to 1. And so that is reflected on the registration when you register, but just make sure you keep that in the back of your mind as well as on your calendar. But if you haven't registered for this yet, go ahead and do so. Arlene Siller is going to be talking about grant strategies, particularly for TMN chapters, and we are very excited to have her come speak to us.
Speaking of
Also,
TMN
yeah.
Tuesdays, our April TMN Tuesday was our virtual volunteer fair, and we had 5 fabulous projects presented during that event, and appreciate all of those project hosts that shared these opportunity for a virtual or distance-based service that our master naturalists can engage with. But we are closing that volunteer sign-up survey in just a few days on April 30th. So if you watched the virtual volunteer fair, or you have not yet watched the recording, that is located on our website, and you have not yet filled out that survey, if you are interested in signing up for one of these projects, please make sure that you do so or share with your chapter members to sign up for those virtual volunteer fair projects before the end of the month, please.
Also have the training class page that is just ongoing, collecting that information. We are up to 40 chapters that have submitted their information. So thank you so much if you have. Again, if you are a chapter that hasn't yet and you want to have your training information, either you already have your schedule for any fall classes, or you just want your spring training on there so anyone who finds this page knows when they can expect your training to happen potentially next spring. I'll drop the form in the chat, but you can fill that out on that page. And this is just that running list for those trainings. We also had a very successful training class director roundtable on the 21st. And that recording is posted on our Naturalist News page, and I'll drop the link in the chat in a second, but you can also see it there on the page. And just a reminder that we're going to have our next one live at the annual meeting that will also be recorded and added to the Naturalist News page. And coming up in May, and you should have just received an email about this yesterday, but on the 5th at 12, we are going to have our communication director roundtable. And so check your email for that meeting link. I sent it back in, I believe, January, but then I sent a reminder yesterday. So it should be close to the top of your inbox. And again, we're going to have a second one live at the annual meeting as well.
And just a reminder about our 2026 chapter anniversaries. We're still kind of in the first half of the year here. So we have a lot of chapters celebrating in 2026. So with their 15th, 20th, and 25th anniversaries. And then looking ahead to 2027, we got a lot of chapters with some additional big anniversaries. So just wanted to put this slide up here again to kind of remind you that these are milestones to celebrate. And hopefully this is on your radar for this year and next.
Next, we're going to move into our Pollinators for Texas project coverage, and we have a special guest joining us today, Christian Lopez, our project student program aide for the Pollinators for Texas, and he's going to share some of the updates for that project.
Hello, everybody. I'm sure you're used to this first part from the previous president's meetings, but yeah, Pollinators for Texas initiative applications are currently open. We received $80,000 from HEB and are awarding chapters with project grants up to $4,000. So these applications have been open for about a month, and they close on June 1st at midnight. So make sure you're tracking on that deadline. They must be submitted using the online web form. You can access that with the QR code on the right. It's also on the Pollinators for Texas webpage. But the main thing that I wanted to tell you all about is yeah, we've been trying to provide resources for chapters applying just to give y'all an opportunity to ask any questions you have. And we recently hosted a webinar. The recording for that is available on the webpage. And also wanted to host some kind of open office hours style session just so all applicants are invited to join. That's going to be via WebEx, and we're hosting 2 sessions. The first will be on Tuesday, May 19th from 5 to 6 p.m. And the next will be Wednesday, May 27th from 6 to 7. And yeah, there's 2 QR codes below. You can use register. I'm going to send out an email later today as well, just so you guys have access to that in your inboxes as well. But please, if your chapter is looking into applying this year, do share that with whatever project leads you have or whoever is putting that package together, just because yeah, it's a good opportunity to ask questions, and even just listening in, maybe, they'll think of something that you didn't before. So yeah,
And
hopefully I look.
fully
Mhm.
optional as well, Krishan, and then you'll be recording them to share that if folks
Yes,
aren't
ma'am.
able to join at those exact times.
Yeah, and then if there's any questions you guys have before then or after, or something you just wanted to touch base on one-on-one, feel free to also, as always, email me at the Pollinators for Texas email address. It's there on the bottom. And yeah, no, I'm very excited to see everybody's projects this year. So yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, and then as we're wrapping up the month of April, we did tell y'all, we did warn you that April was going to be busy, and I don't think that there was any under exaggeration in that at all, because April has been very busy for many of our chapters. So busy that I think we've nearly worn Sam out, it sounds like. He was all the way up until midnight with City Nature Challenge, as you mentioned just seconds ago in the chat. And so with seconds to go in City Nature Challenge, still making observations. So hope you guys are getting a rest after a very busy April. And we really appreciate everything that you have done to help us to celebrate National Volunteer Month and National Volunteer Week. And just really want to continue to say our thank you for everything that you do as part of your service. And to do that, Hannah has created some fantastic graphics that I'd love for her to share with you.
Yeah, so as y'all know, in tandem with National Volunteer Week, we like to release our previous year's annual report. And when doing that, we also like to highlight that on our socials and just show off the vast impact y'all have had across the state in the previous year. So last year in 2025, we added 834 new members, made another new record year for volunteer service hours. So give yourself a huge round of applause, because the previous year, 2024, was also a record year for volunteer hours. So we just keep
Past 3
surpassing that,
years
which
have
is
been
very
record
exciting.
years.
Yeah, so the last few years have been record years. So that's super exciting that we keep getting to have that bubble on there that says the new record year. And those volunteer service hours were valued at over 14 million. So again, that contribution is really showing its impact across the state. And then we also, y'all expanded your knowledge with over 84,000 hours of advanced training, which is absolutely incredible. Reached a ton of people, from youth to landowners to adults, through your various events, and made an impact on acres and new trail miles. So very exciting to see all those new numbers coming in. Again, just thank you for all that you do. You can see all of these on our website with the annual report that Mary Pearl just put up there. I also dropped that link in the chat as well. And feel free to share that with people that you work with, people in your area, and show them just the impact that the program has across the state. Another thing we like to do for National Volunteer Month is, since it is about volunteers, you can go back to the other one, Mary Pearl, is highlight you. I have loved seeing the chapters posting those individual highlights of their chapter members. I try to interact with all of them as much as I can when they pop up on my feed. But we also have been doing that at the state level, trying to cover kind of across the state. And so we'll keep doing that year after year as well. But if you want to check those out, they're on our socials. And I also dropped that link in the chat as well. But you can meet a couple of our master naturalists across the state. And again, we've loved seeing chapters highlight their own members with that form. And you've also probably seen we're highlighting every single chapter with those pictures you see. It's my bottom right. I'm not sure if it's y'all's bottom right, but just showing a couple of pictures from each chapter and just highlighting some of the great things that y'all are doing. So again, thank you for what you do. And we wouldn't be here without our volunteers, which is you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and just to highlight, again, April has been the month to celebrate our volunteers and any volunteers across the state and nation, with a special highlight on National Volunteer Week. And as Hannah mentioned, that during that week, we also always provide our 2025 or our previous year's annual report. And just we can never say it enough, but thank you to all of our volunteers and you as leaders in your chapters for everything you do for the Master Naturalist program. And you are what makes the program and what makes the program successful. So thank you again for another great year, and I'm looking forward to what 2026 has to offer too.
Absolutely. Speaking of what 2026 has to offer, we'll move into the section of the meeting where we talk about the annual meeting and some of the updates that we have for this year's annual meeting in October. As previously shared, we are working down our timeline. While it seems to go stepwise a little bit slow here in the spring, we will start to hit our summer and fall rush as we're counting down the days to our October event. The next big deadline that I have on my calendar is the May 15th call for proposals due date. And so as we get further along in our slides, I'll talk about the call for proposals and the specific requests that I have for you all as chapter leaders. Oh, that's right here. The call for proposals is currently out. So we are seeking presentations from speakers that can talk to Master Naturalist curriculum, advanced training topics, field-based lessons, hands-on workshops, things that are applicable for Master Naturalists across the state and skill building and applying into their volunteer service toolbox. So if you have heard from our request to you as chapter leaders today, is if you have heard from a speaker at your local chapter meeting, you have heard from a speaker at another event, or you have a connection to somebody who would be an excellent speaker for the annual meeting, you think other Master Naturalists would be excited about, please share our call for proposals with them. Help to spread this opportunity to those speakers that we may not be connecting with. Don't worry, we've already invited Sam Kieschnick, but if we don't know of another speaker, please share those names with us or share our email with those individual speakers so that we can make sure that we're inviting new and a variety of speakers as well. And again, that submission deadline is May 15th as well. Talat, I see your question, and that's a great question. We also have an FAQ on our website that does answer all of that for our speakers. But our speakers are not able to receive a stipend or a registration discount, unfortunately, because we have over 100 speakers typically, and that does not work within our registration finances for all 100 of our speakers to be able to have that discount. So there are some other ways that we can allow speakers to come in for their presentation, and so just work with me if you've got any questions on that one. Here's our agenda skeleton. This is also on our website so that you can share this with your chapter members as they are asking questions about attending. We want to make sure that we've got these resources available for them to be able to answer those questions in your chapter meetings. Wednesday is our pre-event day, but we typically do have several pre-event field sessions. Our event doesn't officially launch until Thursday evening during our welcome dinner, but we still have a few more pre-event field sessions that happen on Thursday, as well as our chapter presidents and advisors meeting that'll happen at lunch on Thursday. I don't have the final times for that yet, but we will share those as soon as we have the final times. If, as a chapter president and advisor, please plan on joining us that Thursday around lunchtime. And then registration will open shortly thereafter. Friday is classroom and field sessions and our keynote presentation Friday evening, with our TMN Tuesday being live streamed from that keynote presentation. Saturday is more classroom and field sessions throughout the event, throughout that day. Typically, we also have our student science fair winners at lunch. We'll host our quiz bowl that afternoon, and then we'll have our grand awards banquet that evening at dinner time. And then Sunday, we close out the annual meeting with our contest awards and our conference wrap up, maybe a few extra post-event field sessions as you're on your way back home or getting that rest that you need after a busy couple of days at the annual meeting. And then we just recently launched lodging for this year's event. And I know that there has been a lot of chatter about this, but we have 4 hotels that we have made room blocks at. We were not able to get all of the rooms at one singular hotel. So we diversified our room blocks around all of these different easily walkable hotels. All of them are within a 5 to 10 minute walk. The courtyard is directly across the street. The Residence Inn is 2 blocks down, and the Even Hotel is across a pedestrian walkway bridge across the Brazos River there. And there are limited availabilities at each of those different hotels. I did hear this morning that the Hilton, the attached Hilton room block has already been filled. And so if you weren't able to get into that one, I apologize. I don't think that we're going to be able to get any more rooms into that. We asked for the maximum amount of rooms that they were willing to allot for us within those original blocks, which is also, again, why we diversified and added in a bunch of these other nearby hotels right across the road. And right across these easily walkable spaces. And so all of those lodging details are on our website, and they are all just slightly varied as well because it's different types of hotels. So there's complimentary breakfast at some of them, complimentary parking at all of them, I believe, and different amenities throughout as well. So please look at those. Yes, Suspension Bridge is the most famous symbol of Waco. Thank you, Randy. As our local guide, he's going to add in those fun facts as we go along. And then parking was a question that I heard, and so I added this slide in just last minute here recently, but parking is free at the convention center. And so there's plenty of parking within all of those nearby parking lots and attached to the convention center and right across the road. And so that is not a concern this year. I know that was a major concern last year, but parking is readily available. And then I wanted to add these 2 slides today to help explain the survey that you all received this morning from Donna with our Friends of Texas Master Naturalist group. And so one of the things that we've heard multiple times over the years is that our registration is blocked in a way that create some financial hardship for some folks to be able to attend. And that is never our intention. We want to make sure that our event is accessible, but also has high quality experiences to it. And so balancing those 2 things, especially in the economic market in which we live right now, we wanted to make sure that we're incorporating that feedback while still maintaining the program's priority in training, in networking, in developing the program relationships that you build when you attend the event. And so our traditional structure of our registration costs are full event and 2-day and 1-day event registration types. But we've heard some feedback that there are some requests for us to look into that. And so we have worked with our Friends of group that manages the finances of our annual meeting. And so they sent out this short survey, 11 questions. It should take you no more than 5 or 10 minutes to complete. And those questions focus on different registration type options, including optional food ticketing or different types of varieties of inclusion of meals in the event registration pricing structure. So please help us to share that with your membership and explain to them that this is a way for us to garner the feedback for our Friends of group, to garner the feedback from our membership to build our registration pricing and our registration structure in a way that is, again, accessible, but maintaining that high quality event for our program. We are going to try to close this in May 15th. I do realize that that is a short 2-week window turnaround, but we are wanting to get registration pricing structured in advance so that we can have plenty of time to roll that process out as well. Michelle and Hannah, did I miss anything in that explanation? Okay. Talking about registration pricing as well, we are still seeking sponsorships for this year's annual meeting. All sponsorship dollars that come in for the annual meeting are directly applied into the annual meeting budget. And we haven't shared the slide deck recently, but we do have a slide deck that we can add into this meeting if needed, to explain that our annual meeting is a break-even event. It is not a profit generating event. It does not pay for salaries. This does not pay for equipment and things like that that is applied outside of the annual meeting. It is a turnover financial registration event. And so any sponsorships that are received are applied directly into the balance to help reduce overall registration pricing or to apply into additional pieces of the annual meeting, like additional coffee breaks, meals, and things like that. And so if your chapter is interested in being a sponsor, please check out our website. Hannah's dropped that link in the chat. And we'd appreciate any of that support for that year's conference. And there's different levels as well. Or if you have a organization, a company, an individual that you work with that you think might be interested in supplying a sponsorship for this year's event, we'd love to share that with them as well. In addition to sponsors, we also have vendors. This is the fun part of the conference where we have a vendor hallway with different naturalist related goods, artwork, jewelry, educational materials, or outreach from partner organizations. And so if you know of a vendor that should be at this year's conference, please share them our vendor call or send their name and email address to me and I'll share that vendor call with them as well. I always enjoy going Christmas shopping at the vendor hallway as well. And then last but not least, all things annual meeting will be shared on our email listserv, our Instagram, and our Facebook in tandem at the same time. So as long as you're on one of those 3 platforms, you should receive those notifications for when hotel links go out, when registration goes out, when agenda goes out, things like that. Okay. Went through annual meeting pretty fast. Were there any questions? Yes,
Oh,
Beverly's
here's a
question
question.
here is, have you considered getting sponsors ahead of the conference, like sponsors for the 2024 and applying the amount towards the cost of the conference for members? Absolutely. So we start seeking sponsorships, excuse me, in January, typically for that year's conference. That's when a lot of the organizations that we work with are setting their budgets, or processing their upcoming fiscal year budget. And so we're working towards applying those costs in a way that are those sponsorships are applied for that year's conference. Okay, if there are any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat as we keep going. I'll try to answer them in chat.
Yeah, we might have lost Hannah, so I can cover. So just a reminder, our state within our program resources that we offer you, a reminder, and we'll provide this reminder every meeting, is our state website. We continue to keep this as the kitchen sink of all things, all the information and all the news funneled through our website, and all the answers to your questions we hope can be found on the website. If there's something that you think is missing, please let us know and we can work on getting updates there.
Speaking of websites, I want to share some more updates about our chapter websites and our WordPress, the AgriLife hosted WordPress websites for our Master Naturalist chapters. If you are hosted by an internal, what I call an internal WordPress server that that AgriLife hosts for you, we do have our Tech Tuesdays. We have our upcoming Tech Tuesday on May 5th. This one has been pushed later because we are utilizing the WebEx platform. And so we couldn't double dip at the same hour. We have another meeting scheduled from 12 to 1. So this one is scheduled from 1 to 2 on the WebEx platform. And that registration link, while hasn't been sent out yet, will be sent out here shortly. We were just finalizing those details here shortly. And then we also have Tech Tuesday set for June, July, August, and September at this point. And encourage you guys to share those with your webmasters as they are moving towards if they need any additional support. As always, any WordPress support is filtered through that first call at ag.tmn.edu. And now we have Ashley Westerfeld as our project coordinator for the Texas Master Naturalist and Texas Master Gardener websites. Oh,
We do have a question that's come up on back on. Go ahead and complete website, and then we can come back to
yeah.
the annual meeting stuff.
A link got deleted off of here, but I'll drop it in the chat here in just a little bit. The website, there is a new WordPress training website that Ashley has stood up that has been debuted on the last Tech Tuesday. And she was finalizing the cleanup of it and should be cleaned up now to be launched. And I thought I included the website here, but I'll send it out in my follow-up email to y'all. Thank you, Hannah.
Hannah has dropped it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then because there's not enough going on, we are in a website audit. There are several things that have led to this, including our server transition, some security updates, some legislative updates that are directing our state agency to secure our website access on the back end. And so an email was sent out last week with a request to start working on auditing your users to your WordPress website. And so you received an email from Hannah last week that announced this website audit. And we haven't done this in a really long time. And I know quite a few of our chapters have old users listed on there that are no longer active with the chapter, may have retired from the chapter, or no longer are on the website committee within their chapter. And so it's time to just do some of that spring cleaning of our users that are on the back end of our website. Ashley will begin to start sending out individual chapter emails to all chapters with your current list of users and a request to slim that down to just a handful. And my encouragement is in the 3 to 4 range total users per chapter. Obviously, some chapters are going to need less, some chapters are going to need more, and so she'll work with you on an individual chapter by chapter basis to help to bring that user list down in quantity. And our request here is to begin thinking about those users, those individuals in your chapters that need back-end access to your website. And we want to make sure that we're supplying them with the training. And so there's some more training that's coming, more resource training that's coming from AgriLife IT to be able to support those users and think about the best workflow for that what works best in your chapter right now. As I mentioned, this is a phase-by-phase process that we're going through as directed by our state agency, as directed by the state legislature, because there are some functionality, security, and ADA compliance instructions that are being handed down for all state agency websites. And so we want to get ahead of the curve. We want to make sure that our websites have those training resources, our website masters have the training resources that they need, that we have our user lists cleaned up and ready to go, and that we are working through the best resources possible for you, our chapters, and our volunteer web managers. In the long run, this is going to help to improve our website functionality, help to improve our program identity, and our branding for our chapters. There are going to be some additional website changes coming. They will not be major changes, and they will roll on multiple phases in the future, but we will be rolling those out over the next several months as we get more instruction from our state agency leadership here. So I appreciate your patience, and please, if there's any questions, feel free to email me or send those tickets into First Call, and Ashley will be the one answering those questions along the way. Michelle, you want to bridge this gap and then we'll roll into VMS?
Just our monthly reminder about use of the Master Naturalist title, the appropriate times of when and when not to use it. And then also this is connected to keeping the identity of our program and the trademark with the program. So I'm not going to read over everyone again, but just if you will help continue to relay this information to your members, our members within your chapters, and keep it top of mind. Before we move on to VMS, there's two questions in the chat, Mary Pearl. One that was just relating to the chapter websites. Do users mean administrators?
Users, so we're going to be changing the user level access to the editor function. And Ashley, Hannah, and I will maintain, and Michelle will maintain administrator level, user level access. There was a user role list provided in that email of what each different user type could be able to do. And so our chapters are going to eventually transition into an editor role type for each person that has access to the back end of the website. But it won't change your ability to do the work that you're already doing on your website. Very rarely are the things that are only for administrators and not for editors, things that our Master Naturalists are doing anyways.
And then
I see
well, we can cover the question about the handicap rooms.
Yeah, yes. Handicap rooms were included in the original hotel room block. And so Velma, if you were not able to book that, please email me and I will connect you directly with the sales manager that we worked with to make sure that you're able to get that, that room that you need.
Okay, and then moving on to VMS updates. I think that was next. Yeah. So just a refresher on VMS updates. Contexting was completed in mid-February. Consolidation took place at the end of February. We had a bit of a cleanup time that lasted maybe even more than a month there post-consolidation. Major portions of the consolidation are complete. We told they are complete now. There's some remaining items that we continue to find that are kind of break fixes as a result of the updates and consolidation, or things with the database that just come up not working over the last few weeks here. Remaining items will be cleaned up with implementation of new features and or development items over the next 1 to 3 months. So those things that we've been finding that have been kind of popping up in the last few weeks here, we're told that those will be fixed with the next iteration of the updates that are coming down for VMS. Bottom line, there's still a lot of work to be done in VMS by the Samaritan Company. Everything that needs to be done in VMS right now, our team has completed everything that we know of that we can do at this point, and everything is in the Samaritan Company's hands for updating, fixing, and rolling out. There are more updates coming, but we don't know when yet. Some of you may have received a message. If you are a VMS admin at your local level, you may have received a message middle of last week indicating there was going to be a rollout of some new features. It was very cryptic, no information provided and no training provided. And so we had asked for that. We don't know how that message got sent, but we had asked for that rollout to be halted because it sounded like there wasn't a whole lot of information about what was being done, and nor was training being planned for it. So that was halted. We understand that they are working on some updates to take place and be rolled out, some new features to be rolled out here in the next month or so. As far as for your volunteer end users, just a reminder to update your website links if you haven't done that already for the volunteer login page. Logging for our end users, our TMN volunteers is fine right now, even while work is being done on the background. Volunteers do see an updated look. Functionality is reasonably similar to what it was previously before we consolidated. We know the dashboard views look different, and they will for a while. We're told that the dashboard views would be kind of fixing that would be part of the next rollout of some of the feature updates. We anticipate the delete LBE entry button before approval button to come back with the next upgrade when that happens. And then moving over to the VMS, the chapter admin side. Really, and since last month, since we met with you in the chapter presidents and advisors meeting at this time last month, there haven't been any updates to the system. Our team has been hot on the trail of finding things that aren't really working. Some new things that have popped up over the past week or two are some VMS admins are having login issues. We have escalated that with the company. We're working on that. There are about 3 to 4 different types of admin login issues that are happening right now, best we could tell as of yesterday. And that is all in the company's hands to be working on and fixing. And as I mentioned, we are expecting some a rollout of new features. We don't know what those new features are yet, and we have not been given a timeline of when that would take place. So a request to our chapter admins to just keep submitting help desk tickets. A reminder to continue vetting your trainees and checking against existing profiles within the system. It's very important when you have new trainees coming on to check that process and check to make sure that someone isn't already in the system, because we are consolidated with all other volunteer programs within Parks and Wildlife now. It's more important. It's as important as ever to be checking to make sure someone who's new in your training class is not already in the system. There are help desk. There are tip sheets on the help desk to help you through that process. Continue to track system slowdown and document those with a help desk ticket. The delete LBE before approval not working, continue to document that as a help desk ticket. And then I mentioned the recent issues with sudden issues with logins, VMS admin logins. If you at your local level have something that comes up, continue to document that with a help desk ticket, and our team will help soothe it and work with the company on getting it fixed.
Okay, just a few more standard slides to wrap up today's chapter presidents and advisors meeting. Our AgriLife Learn store is a resource for your hats, shirts, polos. Or if you want to brand your car with a TMN license plate, we do have those available. And I'll be pulling the Q2 report early next week for the Q2 for 2026, but we're at 940 as of Q1 sold. And then our Master Naturalist Endowment stands ready as a resource if you have estate giving or planning or individual, corporate, or chapter gifts that you're interested in investing into our endowment as well. And then with that should close out today's meeting. There was a few questions that we had, or one question that Michelle had submitted in advance of today's meeting, and it was a request for chapters to share if they have an angler education project that they support, in which chapter do have one of those types of programs.
Yeah, so this question came in from a chapter, and I can pull some information from VMS to share with the person that asked this question. That would connect the project to the chapter, and I can share that list with them. But if any of the chapters that are on today, and you have a project, if you would just share your chapter name in the chat here, you can provide that to Cindy.
All right, and while we're waiting for any additional chapters with Angler Ed programs to add into the chat, I'll add the calendar checkup onto the screen. Our next chapter president's meeting will be May 26th. I believe that is the Tuesday after Memorial Day, but it is the last Tuesday of the month. So we're going to continue to keep our traditional scheduling there. So hopefully you are back from vacation, and if not, then you can listen to the recording once you are back if you are on a Memorial Day break. We have next week, we have the Communication Directors Roundtable on May 5th. We have our TMN Tuesday on May 12th, as well as our Tech Tuesday on May 5th as well. And then our President's meeting, as I mentioned, is on May 26th. All right. Dan, you have a pin question?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Last night at our meeting, I had a couple of the members were asking about, we have a pin at 250 and we double that to 500, you get another pin, you double that, you get to 1,000. But then the next pin doesn't come to 2,500.
Yes, sir.
Which is another 1,500 hours. But then you get a 4,000, and then it's only 1,000 hours before the 5,000 pin.
Yeah, the 4,000 is a little bit of an anomaly in the sequencing there, but the 4,000 hour pin lines up with the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and so that's why that was chosen as kind of
I know there was a
stepping stone.
reason. I just didn't know what the reasoning was.
It lines up with the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and so at that point it was, well, if they're getting a PVSA award, they should also get a recertification milestone award with us as well.
Yeah. Okay. But we have our first one that reached the 4,000 hour mark. So
awesome. Congratulations. Are there any other questions or discussion today? If not, as always, our recording and the slides and any additional resources will be provided on our website. And then we'll follow up with any questions or additional things that may be needed in an email. Michelle's answering some questions in chat, so we're good on those. Excellent. Well, y'all have a wonderful afternoon and get some rest after City Nature Challenge. Thank y'all so much.